Michael Georgiades of KEBIA Importex. Can you just tell us how you came about to actually end up running KEBIA Importex?
At the early stages, one of the things that got me to KEBIA was getting my Haloumi from a local deli in East Gardens, and they ran out of Haloumi, which was a traditional Cypriot Haloumi. Being Cypriot myself from heritage, and I was looking for the product, and it disappeared off the shelf for 3 months. At the end of the day, I was working at Franklin Supermarkets, and I managed to notice that they stocked the product many years ago, and I managed to find the address where they bought the cheese from, and that's what dragged me to the entity, which is now today KEBIA Importex. It's still been going since 1954, and happened to find two lovely gentlemen that were Greek gentlemen that were sitting at the table and said, "Have you got Haloumi?" And they said yes, and it was the one that I was buying. So I was very excited to know that I'm getting it from the source, and I carried on buying the product. It was fantastic, a traditional Cypriot Haloumi, being Cypriot myself, like I said, so I kept on buying. A year or so later, a business opportunity came up for us to acquire and invest into KEBIA, because people wanted to sell. And with my partner then, Lucky Adama, we invested into KEBIA, and it is now today a fairly sized business.
You've said once you took over KEBIA Importex, you backed the product Haloumi. I mean, what made you back Haloumi cheese?
Well, obviously, like I said, having the Cypriot connotation, being heritage of Cyprus, and we knew there was other cheeses around, a lot of other international cheeses that people were enjoying. We found out that the Australians were calling it the squeaky cheese. So we said, at the end of the day, can we grow this thing? So at the first food and wine show, backed with Peter's Haloumi at the time, we took a stand and we started cooking the cheese and putting it in the people's mouths and educating them on Haloumi. And we did that for 3-4 years continuously. We did demonstrations in the delis, we did demonstrations in Woolworths, we did demonstrations everywhere, trying to get people to eat the cheese and understand it, and started taking off. To the extent that I made a joke at one of the shows, and I said, well, the next step for me is to put the cheese into a Haloumi burger for the vegetarians. And they all laughed at me. Well, 5 years later, we managed to strike a deal with McDonalds Australia, and they introduced a Haloumi burger, traditional Cyprus cheese from Cyprus, and they did a hell of a campaign. And I think that's what accelerated the cheese in the marketplace. It went gangbusters. They advertised at the Melbourne Cup. They had it on the burgers. That went viral on Instagram, on all the social networks. And the awareness became so big. And it did wonders for other people that were doing Haloumi as well, not only us. I wish we could have only been us and we could have had protected it. But anyway, and it was quite a big, proud moment. And as we speak today, it is currently being sold in Portos now as a Haloumi burger, and it's on all the menus, it's on all the restaurants' breakfast menus, and it's been a phenomenal ride.
What makes Haloumi cheese so marketable, bud?
Well, it's versatile. It's you can have it raw, you can have it cooked, you can have it barbecued, you can serve it for breakfast, you can have it with fruit, you can. It's and it's the texture, I think. Getting back to the old, nobody wanted to really eat it. It was squeaky. It made a noise when you ate it. But at the end of the day, I mean, like we said, when we first brought in the first container, it took us like about 13 to 14 months to sell it, and now the island can't produce enough for the world. And hence, as you see, there'll be other products that are coming into the market, and people are trying to make it in other countries and all of that. But we still do the traditional Haloumi from Cyprus.
Just to finish off, like, if I was to say to you that KEBIA, have always been a pioneering company because they've always imported products and then introduced them to mainstream society, right? If I was to say that KEBIA introduced Haloumi cheese to mainstream society, how would you feel?
Well, I'm very proud at the end of the day. Very proud. It was there, but I think it was just in the pipeline. We just took it to the next level. And we just educated everybody like anything. Like we taught them about Greek extra virgin olive oil. Before, nobody knew about extra virgin olive oil. And olives, and who eats olives? It's getting them to understand. And now it's becoming all type of varieties of olives and all that type of stuff, So that's it. It's just been a wonderful ride.
Michael Georgiades, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.